Hello, babies.
Hey, Kel, would you mind turning on the lights? Let's bring on our guest as we start the show, the Simple Mind Sports Show, where we talk all things latest and the greatest New England sports. Dan Frost is coming to join us today.
Wow, look at that. Red Sox gear
as well. Wow.
Wow.
A little bit of a newbie move. Is this like going to the concert and like wearing the shirt of the concert you're going to?
He's not wearing a Simple Mind shirt. He's wearing a Red Sox shirt.
Actually, fuck you, man. Where's the Simple Minds gear?
We didn't send him any yet. Don't worry.
We don't even know if the audio works. Frosty, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing good, boys. How are you?
Oh, perfect. See, he's not a rookie. He knows what he's doing.
No, he's in. Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah.
We'll see. Well, I have a mute and a kick out, so we'll find out if he knows what he's doing.
We don't know. We don't know what he's drinking, though. That's the thing. If he's drinking something undisclosed, then we're in for a treat.
It's not undisclosed because I have to deal with the kids. So
not
yet. Not yet. The 18-year-old stuff doesn't get broken out till a little bit later.
Ooh,
there you go. Perfect. There you go. Well, the sun's down for me, so join the party. Look, we're going to jump right into it here. We appreciate you jumping in. It is the Summer of the Queen, so Bill won't be joining us. You'll be filling in for him, and we appreciate that. Let's get into the sports, gentlemen. So this show is for as long as you would like to and can join us. Dan Frost, by the way, everybody is joining us, and it's Frosty to the friends, yeah?
Oh, yeah, Frosty, among any other, and there's many other names. Ray knows that's,
yes.
I've been called a lot of things by a lot of people.
So haven't we. Weird.
Yeah. A lot of them start with C and end with unt. Let's start. I'll give you a showdown, and then we'll do some opening takes. Okay, so we're going to do a show rundown. We'll be talking about Chris Sale, who got another boo-boo. Chris Sale's in the news again. That'll be our first subject of the day. I have a feeling. The Bruins, Bergeron and Krejci are back, so we're bringing this back to 2011. Time travel matters. Patriots offense still in the news, still struggling, but is there light? Kevin Durant then makes some demands with Nets ownership, and the Celtics are still in play. And of course, simplest minds of the week. I'll go ahead and get it started with opening takes, and I'll start with the Kevin Durant news that the Celtics are still have now joined his list of preferred teams that he would like to be traded to, including wanting to play with Marcus Smart, of all people. Two things going on here. Clearly, the Celtics and the Nets are still in communication and conversation about trading Kevin Durant to the Celtics, probably including Jaylen Brown in that trade. If that's the case, I'm out. I'm so fucking out on this guy. I'm so out on Kevin Durant and his frosted flake mentality and his personality. Guy has ghosted everybody he's ever been a part of. Now he's flying to London to do Kyrie Irving's bidding. He is, I came to this conclusion today. I might write a blog, Raymond, on simplemindsports.com.
Oh, nice.
He is the Kyrie Irving of the Boston Red Sox. No, Chris Sale is the Kyrie Irving, the Boston Red Sox. I jumped ahead. Kevin Durant is just his little fucking puppet that he's dragging along for the ride. And I don't want anything to do with it. I really don't, because I don't think he makes you marginally better. I don't know how much he makes you better in terms of if you have to give up Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart. I'm out on him in the whole fiasco that comes with Kevin Durant and the Kyrie Irving, which brings me to my Chris Sale point and his fucking fiasco that's going on, which reminds me of Kevin Durant. Kyrie Irving, and everything that he has put the Boston fan base through, which is a lot of words for me to throw over to Dan and Frosty for a little Red Sox take. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't be. Now, I'm not the world's biggest baseball fan, admittedly. I'm a Celtics fan first, but could not be more disappointed with how this season has gone. I thought they were going to have no problems hitting their over for season wins. I think it was 84.5, maybe 85.5. I thought that was no problem for this team. I didn't expect them to compete for a championship, but not only have the wheels come off and Bloom looks like he's trying to make us, Tampa of the North, but there's no direction. This team has no direction. They traded their starting catcher, who was hot, for I don't think all that much, but then went out and go get a first baseman. Like, what are you doing? Either you're buyers or sellers. You can't be both. Like, that's just not how it works. And Chris Sale, this story, like, I'm waiting for the truth to come out, right? Because there's no way he fell off a bike. If he fell off a bike and broke his wrist, I should just sell my house, move to a third world country, because I can't believe that. This is a guy with documented mental problems and acts like a child. He's been enabled for way too long. And the Kyrie analogy is perfect. Got great talent. Great talent. However, you are not worth the headache. Certain players are worth the headache. Kevin Durant 5 years ago might be worth the headache. Not now. Chris, Kyrie.
Thank you for agreeing with me.
Yeah, but Kyrie's should be one of the top point guards, but he doesn't want to play. He wants to.
He's a douchebag.
So,
He's a douchebag. And the only thing I'll say about the Chris Sale thing, and I agree with you, I think there's more to the story than we're hearing. However, it just might be the truth. That's how much of a fucking buffoon this guy is. But if you told me on the other side of it,
do you remember Jeff Kent of the San Francisco Giants?
Jeff Kent,
yes.
Broke his wrist washing his truck. Was that the story?
I believe so.
Well, it was a hard buff.
Yeah, yes. Must have been using Barry.
Hey man, join me Tuesday at Irene's. You'll see what a hard buff looks like. You can sprain a wrist there. You might be able to break one too. I'm just saying. I understand what you're saying with Chris Sale, and I half agree with you. But I also think like he might just be brittle enough to like take a light fall on a bicycle and snap his wrist. Like that's and the Red Sox just be like, you know what, man, fuck you, dude. We're not covering for you anymore.
I don't even think he broke his rib pitching.
No. How do you break a rib pitching?
So. The Red Sox are covering up for him. Oh, he's just unlucky. Oh, he's like, no, he's got problems, and he might be a nice enough guy, right? I don't know him.
He's a prick. Leave it there, Frosty. We're gonna get to that in the first segment. Ray, why don't you finish off the opening takes with some Patriots talk, please?
Absolutely, but you guys have been so negative. Let me throw some positivity out into the sports world real quick. Last day of
Patriots.
Last day of practice for training camp, the first preseason game rather, and there's a bright spot, and it's Cole Strange. Is he the missing link that we've needed on the offensive line? All the beat guys were down there saying that they're opening up lane. He was opening up lanes bigger than fucking Bill's mom's vagina on Friday nights because this boy is blocking. He is a beast down there. He's the lone bright spot. Ramadan Ding Dong Stevenson and Damian Harris had huge lanes, huge gains when he was out there. So are they clicking right before the season begins? Hopefully, because there hasn't been many bright spots this preseason for these boys. So
I just heard a T-shirt idea, Raymond. Jot this down in the ledger. Cole Strange, huge lanes, huge gains.
Done.
Cole, huge lane, huge gain, Strange.
No, I like the first one you had.
Okay, whatever. Just put a road on the T-shirt.
What kind of road?
Did you guys
a road that's leading to Bill's mom's gay?
Thank
Welcome
you.
to the Supermind Sports Show, Friday Rewind, August 12th.
12. Yeah, you're right.
Thank you. Welcome to the show.
Fucking, you have a Mac. They have the calendar right down on the bottom.
I know, but it says today's date.
So add 2.
If you're watching on YouTube, we apologize. If you're listening on the podcast, wherever you get your podcast, thank you. Tell your friends, rate, subscribe, review. If you're on iHeart, you're already listening to the number one New England sports show on iHeartRadio. So congratulations to you. Keep it going. If you're listening on iTunes, we're the self-proclaimed. Fuck me. Words and numbers are not my friend today.
If I'm helping you, you're fucked.
I've been sick for 2 weeks, Raymond. You know.
Here we go.
Here we go. Self-proclaimed New England sports show on iTunes. So join the movement. Whatever you do, again, subscribe, rate, review, tell your friends, and always tell your mothers. Let's go back to the Chris Sale debacle. Fell off his bike getting lunch, says the Red Sox. Broke his right wrist, not his throwing wrist. So that's good news. Still taking care of that left pinky that he got hurt with. Can I just give you, and I'll do this quickly. Can I just give you the timeline of the craziness of that is Chris Sale going all the way back to the White Sox?
Please.
Just bear with me for just a minute here. Okay, this goes back to all the way to 2012. Tony La Russa was managing the White Sox, if you can remember back that long. 10 years ago, Chris Sale went to his house, La Russa's house, after La Russa put him in the bullpen after some injuries and some on the field, bad starts. He put him into the bullpen. Chris Sale drove to his house to confront him, which you just don't do as a professional athlete. 2013, the year after.
Or anything. Or any job.
Yeah, any job. You just don't go confront the boss at his in his driveway.
Yeah.
While he's standing. You remember, like, old ass fucking Tony La Russa, even 10 years ago was old.
Hey, old balls, get me out of the fucking bullpen. Like,
he's standing in his driveway in his long boxer shorts and his white t-shirt, like Bill on a fucking Saturday morning, smoking a cigar.
Doesn't know where the fuck he is, just wants to start drinking, day drinking.
Praying his dick gets hard tonight.
Thinks
Like,
it's another
fuck
D-League.
you.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck you, Chris. Your elbow sucks. You're in the bullpen.
Yeah.
And that was the year after he tried to start a coup after the vice president of baseball operations, Kenny Williams, at the time decided to let Adam LaRoche go, who I think was 49 or whatever at that point in time. He started a media coup and tried to bring half of the locker room with him to say that Kenny Williams should be fired, and went all the way to ownership, lost that battle too. The next year, insisted it was a sign-stealing conspiracy with the Tigers and Victor Martinez. There's video of this on the internet. He's on the mound staring into center field for a good 30 seconds as the catcher is trying to give him the sign to pitch. Still won't pitch. Eventually strikes Martinez out and then gives this wave of the cap to center field. Nothing came out of that, but that was a big conspiracy theory. 2016, everyone knows this. He cut up jerseys in the White Sox dugout or wherever it was, and back in the clubhouse. Retro jerseys. He cut them up with a knife because he didn't want to play with those jerseys. The White Sox inevitably suspended him for 5 days or 5 games. He got suspended for insubordination, and then he was traded to the Red Sox, which was nice. 2017, Chris Sale, that was the only year Chris Sale had a year that was not interrupted by either injury or some kind of buffoonery. He was injured before that in 2012, 2013, 2014. 2017 for the Sox, 17-8, 2.9 ERA, 308 strikeouts, 214 innings, led the MLB. And then this is where the shit started. 2018, where they won the World Series. He had 2 stints on the 10-day DL for shoulder inflammation, which eventually led to Tommy John surgery. 2019 is when he signed his 5-year, $145 million contract. He went 6-11 that year with a 4.4 ERA, inevitably placed on the DL. Got Tommy John surgery 2021. 2021, he was back in August 14th, hit the COVID list, allowed 8 runs on 10 hits and 4 walks and 9 innings in the postseason, and now brings us to 2022. Started this season breaking his rib, Frosty, by pitching. What was that, at BC? What did they say that was?
I don't even remember where that was. I just remember that it was such a bad sign that they broke his rib and that they were already talking a June start for him before the season started, right?
Yeah, it was like in February that they said, like, they didn't even report it. It was like 2 weeks after they reported it.
Yeah, because you have to remember
which is another thing that's weird, right? In a 24-hour news cycle, when everything's immediate and we get stuff before, like, we find out players are traded before they are in today's day and age, and we don't find out that he breaks a rib until 2 weeks later. Oh, he fell off his bike 3 days ago on his way to lunch, but no one saw him. Like,
it smells bullshit. How do you break a rib pitching? That, like, you either are Marilyn Mansing yourself, trying to suck your own dick, or in his case, potentially sneezing because he's so rail thin, or you bumped into a dresser or something. And then people forget he had that mysterious setback. He was supposed to be back in June, and then he had a quote unquote setback that pushed him past the All-Star break. Then he comes back and pitches,
which was a gem. The first game he pitched was a gem.
I won't call it a gem. He pitched 5 fucking innings.
It was
good,
solid.
Though. It was good 5 innings.
They should have won that game.
Have we forgotten about Pedro Martinez? A gem in 5 innings? I'm not calling it a gem.
Today's day and age, that's a gem.
Fine. for a $145 million guy that's pitched 9 innings before that, I'll give it to you. Fine. He pitched the gem, and then the next start broke his pinky.
In the first inning.
To be honest, that one's legit. He came off the field. But you know what? I kind of feel like the way that broke and the way, like, snap that bitch into place and fucking throw. You know? Like, Pedro threw hurt in 99. Couldn't you not go out there and just throw some heaters, man?
People are soft nowadays. You know that. We talk about this all the time.
I guess you need a pinky to throw a changeup. That's what they'll tell you. Let's not forget, before he came back, he went apeshit on a wall on a TV in Worcester for having a bad outing there.
Do you remember his justification? He thought that no one could see him. Not that the whole thing was a mistake.
Yeah.
And then to buy his way out of an apology. Do you guys remember what he did? Bought all the players their Bose headsets, right?
Yeah.
Or earphones, whatever.
Fuck the TV. He just got everyone headphones.
Yeah.
You see, Tomasi had an article about Chris Sale has said pretty much countless times that he feels bad that he's collecting all this money for not pitching and not doing his job. Tomasi's like, hey, you have an opt-out this year. You can just opt out and then come back for nothing and pitch for a couple years and make your money. No, that's not going to happen. Fuck you, Chris Sale. What a fraud. This is where I made the terrible Kyrie analogy in the opening take. Just the two biggest frauds to come into Boston. Chris Sale's not on Kyrie's level. Kyrie is a fucking lunatic. I think Chris Sale might believe half the shit he says, but I make that comparison because you look at the 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16 incidents that were going on with the White Sox. This guy was an absolute lunatic, and the Red Sox traded for him, which inevitably, not a bad trade. Not a bad trade for us. Yohan Moncada has not turned into anything special. At that point in time, he was arguably the best prospect that the Red Sox had, and they traded for Chris Sale. And I guess let's say he helped them win a World Series. He was kind of smoke and mirrors in the playoffs, but he had a good regular season. Since that contract, he's been he's not only injuries have caught up to him, now that Kyrie-esque lunacy is catching up to him. And this latest thing in the bike is right in line with that. And you're probably right, Dan, that it's probably not a bike incident. It's probably he punched something because he was aggravated.
Other than maybe, and Ray and I talked about this a little bit online, but maybe other than Rusney Castillo, I can't think of a worse contract that the Red Sox have done this past 20 years with this ownership group. I mean, you got your Carl Crawford's up there, Adrian Gonzalez is up there,
Pablo.
What's that?
Pablo Sandoval.
Oh yeah. What fat panda?
Dustin Pedroia.
What? Oh yeah.
Fuck you, Ray. We've had this debate. We've had this conversation. I've had it online too, Frosty. I call Chris Sale the worst contract in Red Sox history, and I think he cemented it this year unless he comes out and wins 2 Cy Youngs. And here's why. The money is one thing, right? But the circumstances are another. You signed this guy after 2018, watching what he went through in terms of health, after a career of basically the same shit. He had shoulder inflammation in Chicago. He had to be sat down. The average pitcher throws 34 innings, 34 games a year. The average starting pitcher. He's never touched that. The most he's done is 32. He's done it twice. He's done 31 once. Most of the rest of his years are in mid-20s. Ray, what are you saying? You're muted.
Sorry. Since signing that deal, he's only pitched 36 games.
Since signing the deal with the Red Sox?
Yeah.
He's pitched 11.
No, 36 games since 2018. Innings. Oh, games. They said games. He's 11-13 record.
Since coming to the Red Sox?
Nope. Since signing that contract, that massive 5-year, $145 million contract.
I think he's only pitched 11 games.
Mm-mm.
In 2019.
Since 2019, he's pitched in 36 games.
I don't think that's true.
It's true. I did all the stats today.
I don't trust your stats.
That's fine.
But either way, the point of that is, in terms of worst contract, they signed him knowing that he was damaged goods. They signed him knowing that he was damaged goods to be the ace of a staff for 5 years, at over 30 years old, with injury history. And by the way, he's a fucking lunatic.
Yeah, thinking this market would fix him, Carl Crawford.
Yeah, right. Having to deal with that all.
Do you think he's going to be the next guy that throws out the mental health thing? I'm not saying mental health is a joke, but do you think he's going to come out and that's how he's going to save face?
It's for me, and again, especially with guys, there is a stigma to it. So even talking about it is tough. However, for it not to have been brought up yet, that he hasn't used it as some sort of crutch or reason or something. It's like when the new Bruins coach got fired. Everyone's like, well, it can't be because he's an alcoholic, because the team wouldn't do that. There must have been an incident.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, man. He's gonna collect his money, and it's another I would have had them when he was healthy trade him for Madison Bumgarner. A guy who's probably getting slightly overpaid, but at least the dude's a workhorse. He's a little bit mentally unstable, but the guy's gonna grind for you and at least pitch every 5 days.
Yeah, we could have a conversation about management all night. But I guess we'll transition into these two subjects that I do have about management, specifically Chaim Bloom and what he's done with the roster. The first being, I absolutely hate Jared Durant. And that's not just I hate him on the team as a base, he's really hurting my rep. No, I hate him as a guy, as a boy, because he's a fucking boy. He's a little boy out there playing.
Soft boy.
I'm not even going to call him. He's just a fucking boy. Boys aren't soft. Boys are just boys. They don't know how to handle themselves, right? They don't know how to handle themselves in tough situations. They just act what their body tells them to act. They don't know how to go, oh shit, I should kind of hold my tongue or be responsible or be respectful here. Jared Durant is just a boy. He's just a fly ball fucking boy who can't catch fly balls, who can't fucking play baseball. I hate Jared Durant. I fucking hate Jared Durant. That, and with all the reports that people in the Red Sox front office, quote unquote, front office, or clubhouse, quote unquote, clubhouse, are losing faith in Bloom. Nah. That's ownership losing faith in Bloom. Do you agree or disagree, Frosty? I know you're not a big Red Sox guy, but we'll get your last take on this one here.
But this Red Sox ownership group has a history of smearing people before they get pushed out the door. Happened with Tito, right? When he was leading us.
Great point.
Which he was a solid manager, right? Which is another problem with this team. Alex Cora is a cheating bum. He is not all he's cracked up to be. Get him out of town too. Him, Bloom, the whole ownership group. I'm just
blow it up.
We have a bunch of fans.
Absolutely love it.
We have a bunch of fans that sing "Sweet Caroline" whether we're winning or losing.
Blow it up.
I almost just said the R word. That wouldn't have been good. But that is so.
Oh, we got beeps. We got beeps.
That is so fucking stupid. It just. They're a money-making machine. Everything's about the experience and America's Park, and it's not about. They're almost. If they didn't have quite as much money, I would think they were baseball's version of the Jacobs, and they just want to be competitive enough to maybe get a playoff gate and to keep the fans coming in and to charge the highest ticket prices in their sport. An average family of four can't go to Fenway for under $500.
No, you're right. And the Bruins are a terrific comparison to them. And we've done that before. And it really has met that. And a nice segue to our future segments. But it is that they don't, there's no path that anybody can see. The buy and sell approach at the deadline by Bloom. They want to. It's like they understand that the fan base is asking for them to put out a good product, and they deserve it because of how much money they make. However, they're trying to play within their bottom line, and on top of that, I think that they have inadequate people running their baseball operations. I don't think Chaim Bloom. I wrote this in a blog of the week. It's SimplesMindSports.com. Chaim Bloom is not a leader. All right. And you need somebody who knows how to lead in the position that he's in, whatever his fucking title is nowadays. President of baseball ops, GM.
Where was he the trade deadline? Where was he at the trade deadline? He was back in Boston.
He was back in
not
Boston
down there manning up because he had to be nimble. Like, you don't have Wi-Fi? You don't know how to use a phone? Hey, boss, we're getting a trade offer, and
right. Or send one of your peons down there to send the message. He's not a leader. He doesn't know how to do the job. He's never done the job. You're president of baseball operations. That doesn't just mean reading spreadsheets and checking stats anymore, Heim. You're not in the back room anymore. You are the face of the fucking franchise, and everybody, literally everybody within that franchise looks to you in everything that's done. And you need to have a tough enough chin to handle that and make the right moves. And he's since he's been here has been reactionary. And that might be ownership's fault because they made him trade Mookie. But since he's been here, has been reactionary to public pressure, to the team, to everything else. And the only plan that he's had is bring as much prospects in and throw shit against the wall and see what sticks. That's the only plan he's had. None of it has had to do with the ball club in playing in Fenway. None of it.
And wasn't it a couple weeks ago? I have no sense of a timeline for this summer, but didn't John Henry or someone from ownership come out and say, oh, the reason that they haven't invested in much as players is because of how much baseball operations and data analysts cost? That, which is so stupid, because your salary for your players has nothing to do with what you pay your secretary, your valets, has nothing to do with it.
It's all on the bottom line, Frosty. He owns the Penguins. He owns Liverpool. He's talking to LeBron on Friday nights about their bottom line of Fenway Sports.
Oh yeah, he's got
all comes trickling down
in his mouth. Yeah,
but the greater point to that, you played Trevor Story $20 million. Your fucking staff at Fenway probably in total cost maybe $1 million if you have 20 guys there. So it's all bullshit. I don't want to go over on the Red Sox because we always do this. We always ramble on the Red Sox and go. Frosty, you want to stick around for a little bit? We're going to do, what are we doing next, Ray? We're doing headlines, and then we're doing Bruins.
Bruins and Patriots left, yes.
Yeah. I'll stick around because I want to hear from you boys. The over-under, talking about a positive for the Patriots, Ray, the over-under on their wins for the year is 8.5. The under is currently plus odds on DraftKings.
Stick around to see what the boys have to say about that. And until then, we'll be kicking over to headlines with the obvious one.
Thank you, Richard. The Red Sox are playing .300 baseball since the All-Star break. They are dead last in the division and 10th in the AL. Reinforcements will not be coming from the $145 million skeleton that is Chris Sale. Sale fell off his Huffy and broke his wrist. Reports are he fell into a pile of pillows, but they were Tempur-Pedic and a little stiff. Speaking of stiff, Jaron Durant sucks, and I haven't been hard since. Never mind. The Bruins inked deals to bring back their captain, Patrice Bergeron and David Krejci. Krejci, 36, and Bergeron, 37, both signed one-year deals with fake incentives. The Bruins have said they look forward to $4.5 million in dead cap space next season. Kevin Durant flew to London to demand action from Nets owner Joe Tossi. Durant demanded either GM Sean Marks or coach Steve Nash be fired, or he was out of Brooklyn. Motivation to the demand was unknown until we found out his little gremlin buddy, Kyrie Irving, had turned his fucked up third eye into Nets management. Kyrie became displeased with the Nets by giving him everything he asked for, just in the manner in which his YouTube gods would have liked. In Patriots news, surprisingly, Skinny Ray, a.k.a. Matt Patricia, does not have a full grasp on the Patriots' new offense. The biggest problem seemed to be with the offensive line and final execution of plays. Patricia holds both titles of offensive line coach and offensive play caller. Go figure. This has been Headlines with the Obvious One. Back to you there, Richard.
Thanks, Ray.
You're welcome.
That's pretty good.
Nah, I tried.
Sorry for the 20-year-old joke. All right, let's do the Patriots talk because the departure of Frosty could be at any point in time now. So let's get to the Patriots talk of that over under, which is not in here. So let's start with that. Let's get the predictions on Frosty. Why don't you go ahead and repeat what you said here before the headlines, the over unders that we're looking at.
Yeah, so knowing that the Patriots are putting in a new scheme without any coaches that have any experience putting in said scheme, I took a look at their over-under for the season wins. Always interesting, right? They're the Patriots. They're Bill Belichick. They get tons of respect, especially in Vegas. Vegas doesn't disrespect the Patriots. Their over-under for the wins is at 8.5, meaning, do you think they're going over 500 or under 500? And despite them saying what they're 2% away today, was that one of the quotes I had? They're 2% away.
Mac might have alluded to that.
Yeah.
Numbers guy. He's a numbers guy.
Yeah. The under 8.5 wins is plus odds. And maybe that's meant to entice some of Frosty's money to go towards DraftKings.
Don't do it, Frosty. Don't do it.
Fuck that. It worked. $50. $50 on the under. Patriots are not going over 500 this year.
Okay, so we here's what I'm interested in. I want to hear your prediction, Ray, but everyone's wrong on predictions. So what does that say to you? So for the Brady years, you could have bought a house on the over-unders that they put on the Patriots for about a decade. It was always at 10 or 11, and they always got 12. Like, it was a fucking lock. Yeah. So you could have bought a house on that. So now you're at 8.5. You got an extra game. Like you said, Dan, you're talking about a 500 team. Are the Patriots a 500 team? Tells me Vegas doesn't know what the fuck they are. Tells me Vegas has no idea what to expect of the Patriots, but they believe Bill Belichick can drag a team with what they consider to be 500 at least talent to a 500 team. That's what that tells me. And that's kind of been my sentiment basically all along. And then we get to camp, and every single report that we hear,
every beat guy,
they can't talk about anything else other than the fact that the offense is abysmal, and they have not come close to figuring out the blocking scheme with this new offensive scheme that they are looking to do. And that's what it is. Let's boil it down to really what the problem is, Ray. It's the offensive line, and they can't figure out the blocking scheme with this new offensive scheme. And Matt Patricia is in charge of all of it. So that's all to you. So your opinion on the over-under and Matt Patricia getting them over that hump.
Oh, I'm fucking going all over. I'd put a lot of money on the over. I think they're going to be a 10-win team easily. I mean, if you look at their schedule, it's kind of cupcake. You got the Dolphins, Steelers, Ravens, and Packers the first 4 weeks. I think you could go 3-1 easily on that first stint.
I'm just going to stop you.
Why?
I just want to inform and ask you about your level of homerism going on right now.
Packers
Are you
have
at like a
Packers
75,
have 0
75, 85%?
I'm going 60%.
You're in Green Bay.
Who's your
lost
who's
to
your
the
receiver?
Dolphins?
Who's your receiver
6 out of the last 7 times?
Who's your receiver that's going to beat you in Green Bay?
All of them.
Lazard.
All of them.
I disagree.
What cornerback is going to stop a wide receiver in the NFL this year for the Patriots?
Aaron Jones will have 3 touchdowns against us. They won't need a receiver.
I said 3-1, so that could be your one loss. But you got Pittsburgh, who doesn't have a quarterback, who they all reports.
I'll give you Pittsburgh.
Out.
It sounds like Trubisky is a full-on trash can walking.
Baltimore, Lamar Jackson is the
Baltimore's going to be sneaky fucking good. Lamar Jackson's going to own you in that game, especially when your offense sucks balls in the first quarter of the season. Go on, Ray. Sorry to interrupt you, but let's go on from that, and then we'll.
You want to go for the next 4? You got the
no. Just continue. Go from there. Okay.
Okay. I mean, the next 4, you got the Lions suck. Browns without
I don't want to do I know actually Ray, fuck you. I don't want to do the win-loss. Right? I'm not looking for the win-loss. I'm looking for a general conception of how you think I think our schedule is easy
and we're gonna fall into
so you believe that because the schedule is easy, a schedule that you deem easy, which is not, that they will be above 500. You don't put any stock. You're not putting any stock into the actual fucking question that I asked, that the offense, the new offense that they're implementing
figure it out.
Skinny fucking Ray, that is not a problem to you?
No,
that's
because
not a problem
you know why?
for
you know why? Because when we had Cam Newton, what did we figure out? We're going to fucking run. And what has this offensive line figured out in the past couple of days of camp? Run. So if Mac Jones can't fucking figure out this offense, fucking hand the ball to Ramadan Ding Dong Stevenson or Damian Harris and fucking just run the ball down to everyone's throat. Do it,
Dan. I'm going to go to you because by all accounts from everybody on that, and I'll pull it up here. I have many tweets, but for everybody on the field there, it's not necessarily a Mac Jones problem. It's mainly an offensive line problem. Am I wrong?
They figured it out today.
Wait, the team that couldn't have 3 consecutive days of padded practices just they cracked the code. They figured it out.
Yeah.
Hey,
wasn't today non-competitive too? Wasn't
Fuck
it?
you. No.
Every day's been non-competitive. Rich, it's the friggin' Pats this year.
Apologies, Dan. Apologies. Give me your opinion on the offense here. What do you think? What's the solution? What's the game plan? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think? Why are they doing it? Just give me, you're new on the show. What's your overall conception here of the offense?
That they should have brought in an actual guy with experience putting that scheme in. This isn't like the McVay playbook for dummies, and Patricia can read this because he's got a pencil in his ear and can figure it out because he's a scientist or whatever. Like this just doesn't work. And the hubris of Bill Belichick right now to not have a coordinator and to throw that, and like people say, oh, I'm not going to have a coordinator. And like, it's insane. It's not quite on the level of insanity of the Red Sox not knowing which direction they're going, but he's just like, he's being contrarian to be contrarian now. Like, He's always been a dick. He's always been like short-lipped with all of his questions and answers, but now he's just like, I don't care. I'm just going to collect a few more bucks, and then, maybe he thought McDaniels was going to be his successor before the guy bounced to Las Vegas. I have no idea. So now he's scrambling because he knows it can't be, lick your lips, the snow just hit my face, his son, Steve Belichick. Like,
I know.
But no coordinators, and you bring back 2 guys that were laughing stocks in the league with not only Matt Patricia, but Joe Judge. And you bring them in because you're Patriots guys, but then you don't go back and you don't implement the old Patriots system. So what's going to happen is if this doesn't work after 6 games, maybe they're battling 500, maybe they're 2-4, who knows? But I think they might just revert, throw the whole thing out, and go back to what they know. But then Josh McDaniels isn't there, and they're going to have problems doing that. And the guys, this is just going to be a bad season. And I mean, last year I wasn't all in on the Patriots either, and they proved me wrong because they pulled off all these wins in a row, and everyone thought they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. And then it turns out they can't play against the real competition, much like the Red Sox in the AL East. So there's no solution right now. But honestly, like they're just middling. They have a loyal fan base. I'm going to be rooting for them. Like, even though my money is literally on the under, I'm going to be rooting for them every Sunday because I don't know any better. But they don't have the allure of Tom Brady to cover up all of these deficiencies. And there's too many deficiencies. They've got, we're not going to be good for the next, not only this year or like the year after. Like, I see a couple decades of futility. We're going back to, we had our dynasty. We had the greatest run in professional sports history in Boston, and now we have to pay for it with our teams.
Yeah, I've been saying it for years. The back end of my life is going to suck as a sports fan, and maybe we're looking at it. But I agree with a lot of what you said. I don't know if they're going to be that bad. I do believe Bill Belichick is still a really good football coach. I think if you go 7-9 with the corpse of Cam Newton, you're a good football coach. Getting to the playoffs last year was good. He to your exact point, he watched what was happening the first 4 weeks, and it didn't. And he took over what he needed to, and then after the bye week, gave that defense back to his son, and it went to shit, and that was a problem. And yeah, he created another problem with this offense here. So let's see how far his greatness can reach. That being said, I think they're a 9-8 team.
Maybe, but
I think Mac Jones is good enough. I think they got enough talent on the roster. I think they're a 9-8 team. That doesn't say anything to anything to what you're talking about, but just in terms of the over-under, I would hit the over. I'd hit the over on the 8.5.
Yeah, no, and there's a reason that they put plus odds probably on the under to entice a simpleton like me, simple mind like me. I see the plus odds.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, yeah. Hey, when I put together my parlays, I'm not looking for, the minus 180s. I'm looking for plus odds. But like their last 6 games, right, goes versus Buffalo, at Arizona, at Las Vegas, versus Cincinnati, versus Miami, at Buffalo.
Ooh, I forgot you got to play the top 5 quarterback in the NFL and Joe Burrow in the last 6 weeks in the NFL.
They're gonna be
like that. But January 1st versus Miami, that game won't go well. It never goes well for us. That late season game against Miami, I don't think it's gonna go well.
Yeah,
unless the wheels fall off in Miami this year with Tua, which they easily could. So I could be wrong.
I'll give you that on Miami. Oh, it's a new coach. Flores had your number. I'll just play the long-term odds on that one. But the greater overarching point on this is, I think you brought it up, is Belichick's motivations and what is he thinking? Is he really just mailing it in and just going, I want to try some shit. I don't want to pay a lot of people. So the reports are that coaches' salaries come out of his purse. Right? So it's like if he gets $35 million for a coaching staff, he can take whatever he wants and then pay out to the rest of the coaching staff. So is he just being a greedy cunt? And the Giants are playing Patricia, and the Giants playing Judge, and the Lions are playing Patricia. So let's go. It's hard. I don't know. I think he's motivated by Mac Jones. I think he likes Mac Jones. I think that he feels like he can coach a Mac Jones offense. I think he feels like he has some good talent. I think he spent a shit ton of money 2 years ago to bring in good talent. It just, in my heart of hearts, I think that he has good motivation. However, I don't see the concept and the logic of putting in a new fucking system when you drafted a guy to run your old system in Mac Jones and he was good at it. And now it seems like he's frustrated running this bullshit system. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think there's a lot of answers out there right now. I think from people that follow the team or report on the team or fans of the team, the only way we're going to be able to see
September 18th.
What the solution is Game not 1. Even then, January 1st. Talk to me then. Fucking talk to me then. With a Belichick team, they're going to mold, they're going to evolve, they're going to do different things. Talk to me on January 1st. If they're not running the zone scheme on the offensive line at some point in the season, you'll know that it was a mistake. Until then, it's hard. It's really hard to predict that. I'll give you a prediction. I'll tell you that it's probably a mistake. It's probably a mistake with the type of players that you have on the team, but I'm not going to say it won't work to some capacity.
I think the mistake is that they haven't brought in the right people to coach. All they need is a guy that's like a LaFleur type. Obviously, you're not a Green Bay, but get a McVay disciple that has been around this for a few years. A guy that's been around Shanahan for a few years has actually done this. And I think we would have been better off than we are now. But instead, maybe the analogy to the coaches and how much you pay, and hey, if we don't have a coordinator, I don't have to pay as much money because you're a line coach and you're not a coordinator, and now I get a few extra bucks. But that means, to me, I used to think Belichick's motivation was winning without Brady, because so many people, for one reason or another, think that this was all due to one. I don't. I think it's the pair. If we only had one and not the other, it doesn't work. Either way. However, now I have to question, is his motivation actually winning? Because I don't see definitely not a contending team, maybe a competitive team, but if they were competitive, you don't get whitewashed by the freaking Buffalo Bills in the playoffs like that. Force a punt. Force
two things.
A punt.
I get you, but I have a couple points, 2 points in that, and I won't try to go long. This is not white wine night, Ray, but it is drinking night because you told me not to drink. The Belichick motivations is top of my mind right now, and it's really interesting to me. Here's what I've come to: he just doesn't give a fuck. He just doesn't give a fuck. I don't think he fucking cares. I think I think he's doing what he thinks is right, or what he thinks is as right to as close as what he wants to do. And then in terms of, fighting for records or anything like that, I don't know. I don't quite know if he cares.
Can I throw something at you?
Go ahead.
What if we make the playoffs? Do you think that would be the biggest swinging dick move that he could say? Be like, look at all of you guys doubted me all year long. I couldn't do it with Matt Patricia, Joe Judge. Look at me now. I'm in the playoffs. Even if he doesn't win one, just making it to the playoffs, you'd fucking throw that thing out and be like, suck it, all of you. I think that's what he is.
Yeah, maybe he's definitely had a contrarian personality his entire career. He's definitely done things just to do them as a contrarian point because he thinks he's
the smartest guy in the room.
I think his general managing skills have undermined him a lot of ways in the way that he wants to coach, and he might be looking at that now. But if you look at the roster, the talent's a playoff roster. The talent's a playoff roster. It's a borderline playoff roster. The other point I was going to make on the Bills thing, they lost Dayball. Dayball fucking owned Belichick. Dayball owned Belichick in the scheme. So let's see how Josh Allen up there does without Dayball calling his fucking shots. And I lost my last train of thought on the last point of the Patriots. So I'll give it to you, Frosty. Last point on the Patriots before we move on to the Bruins.
Yeah, the Patriots are. I feel better about the Patriots than I do the Red Sox. But
I figured it out. Sorry, Frosty.
Bring it in. Bring it in.
Right. I got the Bills, Belichick's motivation for holding all the money. And this is specifically for you. And you need to answer me honestly.
Is this a fat joke?
Not quite.
Okay.
Does Linda have fake breasts?
Ooh, yes. Yeah, I'm going to go yes. Yes.
Okay, well, you don't have the X. You know what? If nothing else, we're a show of accuracy, so I'm going to need you to figure that out. Okay, and then maybe it's a saving up situation for the best breasts possible for Linda.
Keep talking for a moment.
Okay,
but wait a second. Do you know what a good set of tits costs, Rich?
I got to tell you, I don't have a
these things are
don't
fake.
Say that. Don't say that.
Fake. These are fake.
I don't have a clue.
They're $5,000, 7,500.
Is that it?
That's it.
Shit. Okay.
So that can't be it.
And I'm looking at these right now.
What if they're laced in gold?
Nope, they're fucking definitely fake already.
What if they're filled with gold bullion just for?
What if he's stashing some of the cash in her tits?
He's actually he's put Bitcoin in there. There's Bitcoin in there.
Yeah, he's mining Bitcoin in Linda's boobs like an offshore account.
Just purrs Ethereum as he's grabbing at her.
Every time he flicks the nip, he gets a deposit of fucking G.
I'm gonna send you this picture real quick, Richard. You keep talking, but I want you to tell me whose breasts are bigger.
Okay. You got it. Yours? Are you gonna give me yours?
No.
Quick break. We'll be right back to talk about the Bruins. You said that to me?
I'm sending it to you now. Hold on. There you go. Whose breasts are bigger?
Do you like this boob? That's my boob.
How much younger is Linda? The first wife never gets any attention either.
I'm gonna say
gotta be 10.
The difference between
Look at those things.
She's 59.
59?
And she's
69. Nice.
10 years.
Oh, Bill could fill that out.
I sent him a picture of Belichick on the beach with Linda, and he's shirtless, and his tits are fucking massive.
Yeah, but they're like but they're like an old guy. It's like I've been in the gym.
Rings, one for each.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The boat's got 6 rings. He's got 6 rings on his chest. It's just.
Yeah, he desperately needed a Photoshop in this picture, but
dude, at 70, if I look like Belichick at 70, I'm not gonna complain.
Really?
Fuck you, Ray. Do you own a mirror?
Do you own a fucking head of hair?
Oh, good one. He's got a visor on. I'll take a fucking visor and those.
I'll take a cutoff sweatshirt, a visor, and
poorly shaped tits.
Listen, my tits are fucking perky right now. His are sagging. Fuck him. I need some nice saggy, perky tits for my lifelong retirement.
Whatever, you're fat. The Bruins have signed
And you're bald.
David. I'm not fucking bald. Does that look bald to you?
Thin.
Balding. The Bruins have signed David Pastrnak and
Nope.
Patrice Bergeron.
Nope. David Krejci and Patrice Bergeron.
What did I say?
David Krejci. You said Pastrnak.
Oh, we'll cut that. The Bruins have signed David Pastrnak. The Bruins have signed David Krejci and Patrice Bergeron, each to 1-year deals. Bergeron signs for 1 year, $2.5 million base and a $2.5 million incentive. The incentive for both of these guys is to play 10 games. Good luck to them. Godspeed. Krejci signs for a 1 year, $1 million base, $2 million incentive. And also on the list, Pavel Zacha signed for a 1 year, $3.5 million deal. Frosty, your opinion on the Bruins. What's your Bruins scope here, as we have not heard from you yet?
Yeah, I'm glad that Bergeron's coming back for one more year. I love him as a Bruin. And
what would it cost you to suck his dick? Like, what would it take? How much money?
10 million.
Well, is this like everyone knows?
10 million.
Yeah. Everyone would know.
Everyone knows. You do it on the internet.
Like TMZ would fucking report it.
And you only have to do it for 10 minutes.
Completion.
Ooh, completion? That might not happen.
Two commas, dude. I'm not degrading myself for that. It's got to be $1 million.
Wow.
Wow. Million.
Oh, we got a new winner on the fucking show.
Government's taking
That's
60% of that. You see what the Illinois guy had to give up in taxes? Just so you know, the Queen's at 10 million. So
10 million is the lowest you'll go for sucking a dick.
Well,
however, we didn't prefer. Bill might suck.
Wait. What if you picked an Atlanta Brave?
Oh, that'd be probably free.
That's a good point. Freddie Freeman,
free.
Yeah, he would do that for like a Chipper Jones tramp stamp or something. Like, give me a little mushroom on the cheek there,
yeah.
Chipper.
Yeah, he just put some ink on your dick and slap it on my cheek.
No,
anyway, go ahead.
The Bruins are trying to hold on to something, which is so weird because their window closed a while ago. Like I thought that they were going to have their problems with the Carolina Hurricanes going into the playoffs. Sure enough, they did. And then we decide that we don't like our coach because he hurts people's feelings. And they get rid of Cassidy, who I thought was a bright spot in the organization. He was blunt. He was honest. I liked him as a coach, but clearly the players didn't. And I think if they brought Cassidy back, then we wouldn't see Bergeron and Krejci and all of this stuff happening. So we'll see what happens, but I'll cheer for them. I won't expect much. They make it to the playoffs. It's going to be a first round exit because they're getting washed up. And again, like they were up against the cap, so they were kind of screwed, right? Because of how they've managed things, and there wasn't much they could do. And friends of mine that are bigger hockey fans, have actually played hockey, know the sport much better than I do. They're all on board with this Krejci signing and bringing Bergeron back. So I just say I defer to them, but I have zero expectations of this year. And if they make it to the playoffs, great. If they make it out of the first round, I'll be taking you two out for golf. Maybe the Queen if he shows up. Which
summertime is not good.
Fuck the Queen. Raymond, you and the Bruins.
Dan brought up a great point. The salary cap. Right now we're the salary cap. I think we're at minus $2.45 million. Here's a way you can get rid of it. Get rid of that shitbag backup goaltender you have, Allmark, because he's at $5 million at a base salary. There's 7 teams right now that don't have a either starting goaltender or a backup goaltender. Blackhawks don't have any current goaltender on their squad. Why isn't Sweeney calling the Blackhawks and just making some sort of trade for some late round draft picks just to get this guy off of your salary cap and get back into the positive, because you don't want to play the Tampa Bay thing where you're trying to shuffle things around post playoff time coming up. So you need to get back in the positive and not in the negative starting the season. So I think they need to get rid of Allmark. That's your biggest thing right now, and Sweeney should be making some phone calls to other organizations in the league to get rid of this guy.
How'd you feel?
Yeah.
How'd you feel about them bringing Sweeney back?
We wanted to fire Sweeney.
Oh, him and Cam Neely. I mean, the guy is just, forgive the pun, but he is just skating on his reputation as a player.
Yeah.
I'll tell you,
They should have blown everything up.
Here it all relates, right? So the Bergeron Krejci move are the right moves. Honestly, if you look at it right now, they're the right moves to do for the Bruins because they don't have enough young talent to rely on them, and they're not bad enough to go to the bottom of the league. So get as good as you can be. And maybe 2019 was a gypsy fucking tier in your cereal because
is that racist?
Maybe the path that the Bruins took to the Stanley Cup Finals will never be had again, but maybe they're hoping that it will be, and that's the only way that this team will succeed to the Stanley Cup Finals. That being said, you are owned by the Jacobs. They do want revenue. You said first seed, Dan, in first round, and that's probably accurate, but I think they have potential to the second round. If Krejci can come back and be what he was when he left, we don't know that. He hasn't played NHL hockey in a year.
Is that everyone's healthy and everything goes right in the right direction? And
yes, everyone's healthy and it goes right in the right direction. But let's not forget,
not
McAvoy and Marchand are starting the year on the long-time injury list, which is why you can start the season under $2 million behind the cap.
Did you see Noseface Killa at Tuukka's wedding?
Yeah, he was dancing his fucking ass off. Fucking hip didn't look
having a good old time. Here's your lines. I'll give you the roster right now, and it is what it is for the Bruins. You're a walking second round exit, and Dan, you brought up a better point. Sweeney and Neely need to go. They're dead men walking. There's no chance in hell that these guys continue to be in their positions 2 years, 3 years from now, whatever you want to call it. They've just extended themselves enough.
Got jobs for life.
Cash them. No, they don't.
They do.
No, they don't.
Jacobs doesn't give a fuck.
I'm going to tell you right now, they don't, Ray, because if Bergeron and Krejci didn't come back this year, they're not making the playoffs. And as soon as you don't make the playoffs, you're out.
I guarantee you, if they don't make the playoffs this year, they will still have a job next year.
I guarantee you they won't. Next year, fine. You want to give me one more year? The second, just look at the history of the Bruins. It's not that hard to figure out. If you don't make the playoffs, you're out. You're out.
I think Cam Neely's his boy.
Look at Chiarelli.
And Cam Neely's his boy, and Sweeney is Cam's boy. I don't
look
think
at Chiarelli, Ray. They started defer salaries with Chiarelli, and then they missed the playoffs this couple years, and B was fucking out of here. Same situation going on with Sweeney. He was under Chiarelli. He's doing the same goddamn playbook. Right now, he's talking to his wife, going, "All right, this money's going to run dry in a couple years. We got to start investing. Let's start buying some real estate. Let's put this shit in some bonds." He knows that he's got a limited time to do this. He's squeezing that fucking lemon dry with Bergeron and Krejci. That's what's happening. That's what's happening.
And this new coach, has got to be the biggest question mark.
I fucking hate Ray. Go ahead, Dan. Go. Sorry.
No. But I'm just saying that this new coach with some sort of weird history is now coming to a major market.
You can say it. He's a drunk. He got drunk and whipped his dick out at the owner meeting or whatever. Pissed in a pot.
The family Christmas party or something.
At the family Christmas party, he pissed in the aloe vera plant, and they were like, "Dude, Montgomery,
time
the
to go."
Fuck, man."
Yeah,
like,
and that was
whatever. Your wife has fake tits.
That's when he was coaching in Dallas. You know, that thriving market known as Dallas, that big hockey market known as Dallas. This guy is going to get eaten alive by the Boston media, or he should. If they don't, then there's something going on, and they've got blackmail photos on the media members, because if they don't put this guy, through the ringer and ask him I don't know anything about him. So
I think Montgomery's going to do well here. You know what? Alcoholics are
very good in New England.
He's surrounded by them in Boston. The only thing that could set him off the rails is falling off the wagon, which could also happen just as easily
in New England.
Right. Yeah. No, he's in Boston. He's surrounded by a bunch of drunks. They're either going to really support him if he's winning, or if he's losing, let's just one shot, Montgomery. What's it going to do?
Wife, and I can confirm his wife doesn't have fake tits.
Nice and light. Just a little
nothing crazy. Nothing fucking crazy. Okay, we're running late, so let's do a afternoon delight. Talk a little Kevin Durant for a couple minutes.
Sky rockets in flight. Woo! Afternoon delight. Whoop.
You guys have it, I think.
Afternoon delight.
I don't know, Ron. That sounds kind of crazy.
Ooh, I'm very interested on Frosty's take on this. That's a big Celtics guy that he is.
You're a big Celtics guy, Frosty.
Basketball first.
Your basketball, your Celtics, Patriots. Where do you go from there?
Bruins, Red Sox.
Ooh,
Bruins,
I
Red
thought it was the Revolution, Red Sox, Bruins.
The Revolution are a soccer team in New England.
The Revolution. Hey, it's not a bad game. It's an inexpensive way to get down to Foxborough.
Exactly. See,
There's no inexpensive way to get to Foxborough.
No. You're
not emotionally.
You're gonna pay for it one way or another.
Yeah,
but
one way or another, you're gonna punch something.
If a game's gonna be low scoring, I prefer a little more action. Hockey, there's at least a lot of action. Baseball is like watching paint dry, and plus I don't know. I'm kind of old school. All these sponsorships and these CGI graphics that are put on the mound to advertise for companies. It's just become a joke. So, but yeah, Celtics are my first love. Basketball is my first love, and I don't. Up until this whole, we're gonna send potentially Jaylen Brown for Kevin Durant. I was coming around on Brad Stevens as a GM. If we send Jaylen Brown, and I don't care what the rest of the package looks like, if we send Tatum and we keep Brown, I've heard that theory as well, right? We send Tatum, we keep Jaylen Brown, which is insane. But if we do any of that, then I will have lost all of the faith that I had built up in Brad as a GM, because I think he's done very well. He's impressed me, but I am not going to get some older, overpriced crybaby who, when he doesn't get his way, if Boston doesn't win the title within the next 2 years, 3 years, I don't know how many years he has left on those thin legs. You think he has 4 years left on those legs?
Oh yeah.
But wait, 4 years left to play? How long can he be a dominant top 10 force in the NBA? You think 4 more years?
3.5.
I'll take the under on that. But I think that we would mortgage our future at a chance of trying to win the title when it doesn't make sense to, because we're fairly close. Bringing in Brogdon is a great deal. So I don't see the need to bring in Durant, because again, if this was 5 years ago, 3 years ago, I would love to bring him in. But now, a little bit older, whiny, like he was going back and forth with like fans on social media. The guy, he's like,
he's the original baby back bitch.
Yeah, but you look at his MySpace page.
MySpace? He's got a MySpace?
He had one. He was on one. Oh, the haters, they keep me going. Like, you are such, he's a taller, darker version of Chris Sale, mentally fragile and not physically that strong. Right?
Yeah, no, that all is completely fair.
Keep him in Brooklyn. Keep him in Brooklyn.
So just to back up a little bit. So obviously the latest reports here out of Kevin Durant is he went to London, talked to owner Joe Tsai, right? Not to say or whatever.
Well, fucking put parentheses on how to pronounce it.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Like his pronouns?
Yeah.
His name pronunciation?
Yeah, please.
Good use of parentheses, by the way. That was a good word for you.
Parentheses, yes.
Yeah. Went there, demanded that GM Sean Marks be fired and that coach Steve Nash be fired. Which, when I heard, it seemed weird. It seems everything Kevin Durant has done this offseason has seemed weird. And then you have to think about who his running mate is, and it's Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie Irving is the puppet master that Kevin Durant is being puppeted by.
Pulling the strings.
There you go.
Ever since
Kyrie Irving was mad either that he didn't get a max extension by the Nets after not playing basically 60% of the games that they asked him to play after paying $30 million a year, Or he's mad that they didn't support him as much as he wanted through the vaccine thing or whatever. He's now come out and said that he doesn't like Sean Marks, who did everything that those two little fucking delinquent cunts asked him to do. Trade their entire roster for James Harden, their entire really good roster for James Harden. If they just kept those guys, they would have beat the Celtics, by the way. So trade all those guys, bring James Harden in. That didn't work. Dumpster fire waiting to happen. Ray, we called it. You go on. He said he didn't need a coach. Steve Nash comes in. Kyrie Irving reportedly was holding different practices after practices from Steve Nash. So now it all makes sense. Kevin Durant is being puppeted by the self-righteous YouTube fucking cunt that is Kyrie Irving. That alone tells me that I don't want anything to do with Kevin Durant. Nothing. You can't put a trade in front of me from the Celtics that brings Kevin Durant here that I want him. Nothing. So it was reported by our friend, not reported, but it was floated by our friend Jack Simone, CLNS Media Heavy, Celtics.com is where this is, that the Celtics now could possibly get Durant for Marcus Smart, Robert Williams, Grant Williams, and some picks. Basically a shitty first-round pick and some swaps.
Done.
On the surface, if you can get Kevin Durant for not Jaylen Brown, yeah, wow, that sounds great. I'm out. I'm fucking out. I'm out. I'm out on Kevin Durant. I don't want him. If you want to swap Marcus Smart just for Kevin Durant, fine. He can come off the bench. He can come off the bench for my Celtics team. Other than that, I'm out on Kevin Durant and his fucking lunacy. If you haven't watched this, if you haven't watched the David Letterman interview with him, and a David Letterman interview is next up or whatever his thing is, I think it's on Netflix or whatever. Watch that interview. Watch how much of a just disconnected fucking cat this guy is. He's just like, I smoke weed, I play video games, and I don't give a fuck with people, and I bitch with people on Twitter.
Sound like Bill.
Is that the guy you want, like, steadying your franchise? You want to trade Jaylen Brown for that guy? You fucking kidding me? I get his talent. I'm over it.
Well, what if he doesn't want to be the star? What if he says Tatum can still be the star?
He is the star, right? No matter where he goes, no matter what he does right now, Kevin Durant comes to Celtics, it's Kevin Durant's team. And if they don't win a championship, it's Kevin Durant's fault.
Yeah, but the problem
if they do win a championship, it's Kevin Durant's. It's because Kevin Durant, not Jason Tatum. It's because of Kevin Durant. That's the weight.
Let's say the Celtics for some reason, can't bring Horford back because they have Durant come over. Which player between Durant and Tatum, who's the leader of that crew? Marcus Smart? Is he going to step up and still be the vocal leader of the Celtics? Durant's no leader. Durant is not a leader.
You already went through this. Dan, you already went through it. You went through years of this with Kyrie, Gordon Hayward, whoever else you want. 2021 was the year it established the hierarchy within the Celtics organization.
I have a question.
Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart. Established. And they got it for the most part. Smart kind of stepped out of his fucking lane there towards the end. Yeah. Which I'd be okay trading him for pretty much anything.
Cost us.
Whose team was it when Paul Pierce and the big three were there? And Kevin Durant.
Kevin Garnett and Pierce knew it, but they gave him the captain. They gave him the captain so he would feel okay, and he fucking knew it. He was 12 years into the league. He knew what the deal was. He got it. He was 30-something years old. These kids are 24 and 25 years old. You're going to fuck with their heads again and bring this guy in? No. This fucking walking bowl of Frosted Flakes? No fucking chance. Give me Brogdon. Give me Gallinari. Give me Tatum. Give me Brown. They are odds-on favorite to win the championship right now with the team they have constructed. Fuck Kevin Durant. I'm out on him and his Kyrie Irving fucking voodoo ways. Sorry, I know I've said a lot of this. Frosty, your point.
No, I agree with you on a lot of it, but yeah, I think though, to Ray's earlier point, if the Celtics did find a package, I mean, I love Time Lord, but he's an injury waiting to happen. I don't know if the guy's a long-term solution. But he's electric. The dude is absolutely electric, and I would love to probably put a little bit of money on him as Defensive Player of the Year next year, just for the fun of it. But yeah, the Celtics don't need Durant to get over the hump. And yes, they need some scoring, but Brogdon's gonna help them in certain ways, so that, and Gallinari is going to be underrated, a guy that usually kills the Celtics. He might turn into what like Wes Welker was for the Patriots. Killed us as a Dolphin, then we sign him, and now the guy just can, be the Wes Welker going into that year. Fancy football draft wise, people were taking Stallworth, I think, over Welker. They didn't know what to expect of him, this little white receiver. I think Gallinari is going to become a huge role player and is going to be scoring probably 12, 14 points a game.
Best shooter on the team.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They filled Brad Stevens went out in every gap that you could name that they had and why they didn't win the championship. He filled it.
Yeah.
And then some.
Literally, he proved himself prior to this whole Durant debacle and even getting involved in the trade rumors. They shouldn't even have been involved in them, knowing that these guys are younger and you don't want to mess with their heads. Ime finally got them bought in. We didn't need that. And Brad has done everything he was supposed to as a GM. He's not the draft evaluator, talent evaluator that Danny Ainge was. I think
we still have to wait and see with that. Dan, he hasn't made any, so we'll wait and see. And the only
Pritchard, guys,
was Pritchard Ainge or Stevens?
Ainge.
I think it was Ainge. I don't think Brad Stevens made a draft pick in the first round. He's traded the first. Yeah, he hasn't made one.
Worth
the only draft pick he made was that guy with the fucking hair in the second round.
You know what? That's going to be a good pick though, and that's why we can get rid of Pritchard.
The only point I'll make on this is if they have rumbling, if the Celtics have rumblings that Jaylen Brown is looking to test free agency and not sign, then maybe that's that, or more specifically, he just wants out of Boston. If they have that feeling, then I will change my opinion because you have to make the most of an asset.
Well, then I would call our old friend Danny in Utah and talk about getting Donovan Mitchell for Jaylen Brown.
I love that move as well, Dan. I've put that on the show before. The other thing to keep in mind, and we'll move on to simplest minds of the week, is Jaylen Brown is due for a supermax if he can get on the all defensive team or all NBA 1, 2, or 3 teams. And he can only really get that with the Celtics. So he has motivation to stay with his team money wise. I think he's yet to come out and say he doesn't want to be with his team. I don't move Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown was the best player on the floor for the Celtics in the NBA Finals. I've been on the Jaylen Brown train for years. The dude is a fucking stud. You don't move on from that. Pay that man his monies. Simplest minds of the week, real quick.
Are you stupid or something? Honestly, as stupid as a stupid does.
All right, Raymond, give us the Marshawn Lynch story.
Marshawn Lynch was pulled over in his, I'm not a car guy, but it was a fancy ass car. And when the cops got to him, he had no tires left. And it was just, he was driving on rims. He was fucked up. Rich is choking. Dying. But yeah, when you're too drunk to know that you don't have tires left on your rims.
I just like thinking of Marshawn Lynch in that situation.
Imagine when they pulled up
to him. Think of the shit Marshawn Lynch has said on camera. You put him on a fucking curb with cops driving his car down the road without tires.
Let's see the body cam.
Oh yeah, when that comes out, that's gonna be must watch.
I was trying for some fucking Skittles.
He shows up to court. I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Yeah, Marshawn Lynch on body cam on the side of the street after driving his fucking $100,000 car without any tires. I need to see that video. That's a dumbass fucking move. And the reports are he was at a club and then left and kind of knew that his car didn't have any tires. I don't know how he lost his tires, but he just drove it anyway.
GT 500. Cops believe Lynch was driving prior to his arrest, showing the front left wheel's rims resting on the pavement with no tire in sight.
Good for him. He saw some sparks and pulled over. Smart guy.
Yeah, smart.
I'll give you my candidate, Rodolfo Castro. Slid into third base for the Pittsburgh Pirates over the week, and in the motion of that, lost his iPhone out of the back pocket. Out of his back pocket. Three things. First of all, how bad is the Pittsburgh organization baseball wise that you
Awful.
have guys
Relegation.
with fucking iPhones in their back pockets playing baseball for you? Second of all, how do you not get thrown out immediately for having, I don't know what, the contraband on you in the field of play? Like, the Red Sox got fined for having an Apple Watch.
Yeah.
Third, kind of respect it. Like, how are you gonna swipe right? How are you gonna handle your social medias in the dugout if you can't keep your phone on you all time?
True.
And the Pirates suck, so who gives a shit? Rodolfo.
Rodolfo. Say,
Rodolfo.
Ronaldo is a soccer player. Rodolfo is a baseball
Rodolfo Castro is swiping right. Ray, you've never played baseball before. You've never
Hard.
played a
It's a very
sport
hard
in
sport.
which that you have pockets within. You've never played a sport in which you have pockets that you could hold shit in.
Our soccer shorts had pockets.
Your soccer. Why would your soccer shorts have pockets?
I don't know, because we were cheap probably. We couldn't afford the good shit, so we had pockets.
What did you keep in your pocket?
Nothing.
Not a condom.
Mouth guard, not a condom. You know I go raw on your mom every fucking Tuesday night.
Thank you very much. She's listening. I'm sorry for that. Frosty, you remember my mother? I hope.
No, I have not.
Very good.
Glory holes usually have a wall, so you can't see the person behind it. So that's probably why he hasn't met her.
Yeah. Okay. I just muted Ray real quick. Frosty, ever played a sport with pockets? And would you keep an iPhone in there if you were a professional baseball player? Your thoughts on Mr. Castro?
Yeah, I swear I feel like I'm like aging at warp speed because I just don't get it. You're a professional athlete, like not even having your phone. I don't even think you should have your phone in the dugout during a game. Like, what is so important?
No, definitely not.
Like,
DMs.
you're trying to see if Brittany Renner is gonna DM you to ask for another kid. Like, I just there's no reason for it. And yeah, at Pittsburgh, which is such a Pittsburgh Pirate move. And yeah, the only one I was more surprised by was a WNBA player trying to make us think about a bad call at the end of a game, and she tweeted something out: "Our referees are trash. Fine me." What's a fine in the WNBA? Like $14.95, a 10-piece McNugget. How's that work?
Probably. The NBA pays for the fine.
Exactly.
Or the US government.
Depends.
Depends on if you're in Russia or not. This has been the Simple Mind Sports Show, Friday Rewind, August 12th.
2012.
Is it 12th? It's not the 19th. No. I have a
Bad with
flight.
dates.
I have a flight on the 19th. It's the 12th of August.
That's what
and
she
it's a
said.
Friday Rewind. Thank you for joining us, Dan Frost.
Yes,
And
thank you.
we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
I got something troubling on my mind. I got something troubling on my mind. I got something blowing inside of side. I got something on my mind.
Marty! You've got to come back with me! Where? Back to the future!
Well, I'm not muted.
Go fuck yourself.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh. Were you pinching one off? Is that why you're 10 minutes late?
Been drinking.
Please, God, tell me they're not white wine.
You know, Raymond, after so many years, you should know me. And you should
If
know
I
that
say
you
something, then you
tell
do
me
it.
to not
Dude,
do
I
something.
something, you do it.
Just saying.
May I say, first and foremost, thank you for the gift. I was very worried when I saw it because of the Kyrie Irving incident I did at your house, putting a baseball card of Kyrie Irving in your daughter's room to watch over at night. Sweet baby Jesus. I was very scared when I opened that gift, but it was very nice.
You're welcome. The Kyrie Irving card crossed the line, frankly, and I will cross that line in reciprocation at one point in my life, in your life, or your son.
It's gonna be so far from now, and I'm gonna forget about it, and you're not.
Yeah.
And you're
not gonna see it coming.
You're gonna say checkmate, motherfucker.
You're not gonna see it coming. But it'll get there. No, this was just a affirmation of friendship.
You were shitting again and drunk, and you saw it on Instagram.
His last name's Wood. What's his first name?
Bear
Wood, the big black professional porn star. R.I.P.
He wasn't a porn star. Did you ever watch the documentary?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
He was paid to model. He was on Hard Times. He was paid to model. He took some provocative photos.
Well, what I sent you did not show off the goods. For the listeners, I sent Raymond and actually a couple other friends of ours some stickers on light switches, and if you want to look up Bear Wood, it's something
everyone knows. Everyone
big black
knows.
wood. You know the pose. He's sitting on the bed and
that fucking anteater between his legs.
As Bill would say, hanging brain, and that's the biggest brain I've ever fucking seen. So now that hangs in Ray's hall.
Wife is not happy.
You don't say.
Yeah. I go, hey, can you turn a light on for me real quick? And she opened up the basement to turn it on because it's the light switch to go down to the basement for my Oasis. What the fuck? Who sent us that? Oh, that was Rich. It was just a gift. It's very nice of him. You need to take that down. Nope. No, I do not. The fuck I do.
I am gonna shoot her a text real quick.
Just ask her to turn the light on. She'll know.
Ray, we have a guest host tonight.
Yes, because the Summer of the Queen continues. I honestly thought it was the Abba concert that he was going to. I searched some local concerts near me. Abba came up, and I said, he's going to see that. I was wrong.
Hey, Kel, would you mind turning on the lights? Let's bring on our guest as we start the show, the Simple Mind Sports Show, where we talk all things latest and greatest New England.